Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. Benny Abante has officially assumed his post as Manila's 6th District Representative, but his opponent, Joel Uy, is not about to give up just yet. Uy elevated his case before the Supreme Court and called Abante's proclamation unconstitutional. Let's get on point with Manila's 6th District Representative, Benny Abante. He joins us via Zoom. Congressman Benny, magandang gabi po sa inyo. It's good to see you again, sir. All right, Kong Benny.
Hi, good evening,
Right.
Pinky, and I'm so glad to be here with you again.
Yeah, sir, matagal-tagal din po kaming naghintay para
Hello.
makausap kayo. Yes, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yes,
I was
loud
saying
and
that
clear.
medyo matagal din po kaming naghintay because you wanted to be interviewed after your proclamation. First, sir, how does it feel to, well, first not be proclaimed, having to have lost, and then eventually be proclaimed and having won?
Well, of course, I'm very much elated. I'm very much happy about that. Nakita ko naman the COMELEC has actually followed the letter of the Constitution, and the decision has been made properly and according to the rule of law.
Did you know for quite a while that, according to you nga, doon din sa petition, that he is not a natural-born Filipino, sir? How soon did you find out?
Actually, I didn't even think about him being not a naturalized citizen because when I ran for Congress in 2019, he was part of our team. No, he ran for he ran for the council, and I was the one that actually even helped him to win. So hindi ko talaga inasahan that there'll be a problem that way, no? A naturalized Filipino siya. All of a sudden, after the election, someone called me up that I have not actually talked to for many years, no, in Australia, and he told me about Joey Uy and be able to look into the truth that he is a naturalized citizen.
Mm. So it just fell into your lap, kumbaga?
Yolen?
Parang
Okay.
it just fell into your lap, sir. Kasi would you say that time that you
Yeah.
lost by 500 votes lang ho ata ang inyong natalo, hindi ho ba? Were
About
you...
1,300 votes. Yeah, it fell into my lap all of a sudden. No, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. All right. There are, of course, there are questions, though, on you being proclaimed, according to Chua Uy's camp, the proclamation and certificate of finality is unconstitutional, sir, dahil nga daw po yung COMELEC lost its jurisdiction last June 30, specifically at 12 noon, because Chua supposedly had already assumed his congressional post. Congressman, siguro kayo na po ang magpaliwanag sa amin. Hindi ho ba kapag dumating na kasi ang June 30 at 12 noon, hindi ho ba ay magiging jurisdiction na to ng HRET?
Actually, we followed the law. No? My lawyer, Attorney Romy Macalintal, alam mo naman, very celebrated election lawyer yan. Talagang we followed the letter of the Constitution. We gave him five days, actually, 5 days before I would be before they would make a decision for me. So pagkatapos nung second division a decision, we waited, no? Wait for 5 days, and the 5 days fell on June 30. So in the morning of June 30, the decision of the NBank came out,
Right.
no? In supporting the decision of the second division. So it was actually just on time. There's nothing unconstitutional about it.
In the nick of time, parang ganun po.
Yeah, in the nick of time, yes.
Opo. So, the
it did
decision
have
was
to go
made
through-
before 12 noon, Kong Benny.
yes,
the
yes,
COMELEC
before
and
12
Bank.
noon. It should be, yes.
Kaya
Oo.
nakaabot po before the 12
Oh.
noon deadline.
That's right. Hindi na kinakailangan pumunta ng HRET because the COMELEC has jurisdiction until 12 noon of June 30.
Are you still concerned or worried about these petitions that were filed by Chua Uy's camp, certiorari and prohibition that would have effectively stopped the COMELEC from executing that resolution last June 30?
No, I have been relieved. No, parang nawalan ako ng tinik dito. Hindi na ako talaga nag-aalala. They could file a motion for certiorari. They could file a motion for reconsideration. Yet I don't think that. In fact, we waited. No, we waited for because there's another 5 days given by the law. No, for them to be able to answer and really put up the motion for TRO. Pero wala din nangyari. The Supreme Court didn't even act on it. So we acted after 5 days.
You feel that you are standing on solid ground then, sir?
Yes.
All right.
We are. Yes, we are.
Congressman, let's talk about your role in the 20th Congress. There was first, I heard an interview that you were saying bubuuin ulit ang Quadcom. Is this true, sir?
Yes.
Tell us more about
we
it.
will do that. Well, kasi marami pang dapat na pag-usapan tungkol dyan, Pinky. Because God gave me a chance to sit again in Congress, so palagay ko, ako na yung magiging lead dito as far as the Quadcom is concerned. So, we will be able to file a resolution convening the Quadcom hearings again, no? When Congress opens up finally on July 20 and 29. So, uunahin siguro yung pag-elect ng mga chairman ng committees that are involved with the Quadcom, and we're going to continue the hearings. So.
And you will be the
And
chairman.
still, tatlo pa rin yun, no? Pogo. And the thing is, sa Pogo, we actually investigated yung Pogo na nakalagay sa malaking mga hubs sa Pampanga and Tarlac, no? And then we still have around 10,000 maliliit na mga Pogo still there. And we still have a lot of Chinese that are roaming around the country and they have not been actually deported. So number one, yeah. Number two, yung drugs, no? Illegal drugs. Still, you find out that about 2 weeks ago, the president has appeared before the media with more than 8.7 kilos of shabu that has been confiscated by PAOK, no? Or by PDEA. So nakikita natin na the drugs are still there, despite the fact that more than 30,000 have been killed on the war on drugs. And then, of course, the EJK. The EJK will be very important.
Congressman, ito pong sa EJK, because what is coming out is that there is a witness, I'm not sure if you're up to speed with this, but he is a counselor of Calamba who was saying that there are policemen who are involved in EJK drugs, rather drugs, let me correct myself there, and the issue of the missing sabungeros. Could there be any connection, or the Quadcom can possibly look into this? Meron ho bang ganon?
I heard the Secretary of Justice, Boying Remulla, saying that there's a connection. So we will look into that, Pinky. In fact, one of the cases that we are going to hear in the Quadcom is the missing sabungero, because that is also a case of extrajudicial killings. And that all started in my district, no? If you remember, I even gave a privileged speech on that, no? We tried to rally against the opening of the Manila Arena but the mayor then gave a license to it. So they put up a corporation in Santa Ana about it. And then after a while, 8 sabongeros actually went missing, no? 8 lang yun at that time. And then all of a sudden, again 34 yan. And now it's more than 100. So I believe that we should investigate on that. Oo. And then we have some policemen that are actually involved in it. I was told that there are some politicians too. So talagang dapat namin imbestigahan to. The missing sabongeros.
So, meron ho talaga kayong nakikitang connection between the missing sabongeros, drugs, and EJK, sir?
At this point in time, Pinky, wala pa akong any kind of document that would actually give connection from the from drugs, no? But we will actually look into it because baka mamaya talagang meron yan. No? The fact is this, when we speak of extrajudicial killings, ibig sabihin even if they are sabungero yan o drug pusher yan, kinakailangan din naman na magkaroon ng due process, no? We believe that any suspect is deemed innocent until proven guilty. So wala silang pagkakataon na i-prove na lang kanilang sarili sa korte. And all of a sudden, we find that some policemen became the judge and the executioner at the same time. So we have to look into that.
Kong Benny, what do you know about the missing sabongeros?
The only thing that I know about is when the first batch of sabongeros went missing in my district, in the Manila Arena. Then we found out that the witness against Atong Ang, Totoy, actually was a security guard in the Manila Arena. So we will actually investigate that, look into it, find out if there's actually any connection with the missing sabongeros that have gone about 100 people.
Do you think you would be able to have to call alias Totoy dito po sa Quadcom hearing?
Yeah, I believe so. We have to call on the stake players. We have to call on the people involved in it, so we could be able to find out in reality what the truth behind the missing sabongeros.
And because of that, sir, what happens siguro next? Kasi anong nangyayari ho sa Quadcom na marami naman po ang nakapanood dahil ang daming topics na kailangang pag-usapan
Yes.
at madami po nagiging witnesses ano po, and some of the complaints would be some of the witnesses are there for such a long period of time at halos hindi sila nakakausap. Is there a way to somehow streamline this or improve on it so that you get more people and more testimonies in a shorter period of time without having others wait too long as siguro witnesses?
We are now in the we now have a good number of witnesses that have indicated their desire to be a witness in the Quadcom. So ang gagawin namin dyan, offhand, kakausapin muna namin sila kung talagang totoo itong mga allegations nila, no? And then slowly we're going to let them appear in the Quadcom.
Ano ho sa palagay niyo ang uunahin niyo? Pogo, EJK, or drugs, sir?
Most probably, EJK mauuna dyan.
All right. Very quickly also, I wanted to ask your thoughts in response to this recent survey that came out on 44% saying yes, that the Senate is delaying the impeachment, 25% said no, that the Senate is not delaying the impeachment, and there's 22%, sir, undecided. What do you say to that?
Well, I do believe that more people would want the impeachment to move on. See, 44% agree, no? That the Senate is still delaying it. I agree with that also, no? So, ako naman, Pinky, with what happened in the election, mukhang hindi na talaga pwede pang paniwalaan ng nangyayaring survey. Di ba? I mean, I believe that there are more people that would like to see the impeachment proceeding go on.
Yeah, because part of that survey, just to bring it in, no, Congressman, is that ang tanong po, do you agree with Duterte's impeachment, ang nag-disagree medyo mataas po. Mas mataas kaysa dun sa nag-agree. Ang nag-disagree is 42% and ang nag-agree is 32%.
Aha. Okay. Yung 32% na yan, agree, anong ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun na that they do not want impeachment to proceed?
Opo.
Well, actually, I don't agree with that. I believe that the impeachment proceeding should proceed on the basis of the Constitution. I believe it should proceed.
What happens, Kong Benny? Sabihin po natin, of course, there's a lot of talk that pagdating po ng 20th Congress, there is a chance that, questions will be brought up, such as, can the 20th Congress continue on with what the 19th Congress do? The Senate impeachment court, some senator judges may question this in the event that hindi po matuloy ang trial. What do you think will happen?
Well, in the event that the Senate would would dismiss the impeachment trial, andiyan naman ang Quadcom. Papatawag ulit namin sila to be able to shed light more on what has happened, actually.
All right. So, till then, sir, we hope to speak to you again and find out more about your priority bills as soon as, siguro, July 29, 28, after the President's SONA at pagpasok po ng susunod na Kongreso. Maraming salamat, Manila 6th District Representative Benny Abante.
Salamat, Pinky. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll be taking a short break. When we return, I'll speak with COMELEC Chairman George Garcia. Stay tuned. This is On Point. Welcome back. The midterm polls may be over, but the issues surrounding the political exercise continue. Despite the Commission on Elections resolution on various poll-related cases, its chairman is now facing a complaint before the National Bureau of Investigation over alleged irregularities. Let's get on point with COMELEC Chairman George Garcia. He joins us also via Zoom. Chairman, magandang gabi po sa inyo at maraming salamat din po sa oras.
Magandang gabi, Ma'am Pinky. Sa mga kababayan natin, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Before I go to the complaint filed before the NBI, Chairman, I just wanted to get your answer dito po kay Chua Uy. Yung kampo niya ay sinasabi naging unconstitutional ito pong pagtalaga kay Congressman Benny Abante dahil dapat nga daw ang HRET na is the one who's looked into the issue of Chua Uy and Congressman Benny Abante. Sir, please respond to that.
Ma'am Pinky, ang kaso kasi ngayon nasa Korte Suprema na, and therefore kung ano man yung naging action ng COMELEC, it was raised before the Honorable Supreme Court. Nung pinroklama namin ng City Board of Canvassers ng 6th District of Manila, si Congressman Benny Abante, wala po kasi na inisyu ang ating kataas-taasang hukuman na restraining order para pahintuin ang pagpapatupad ng desisyon ng COMELEC and Bank. At dahil po dyan, naging final and executory po kasi ang desisyon ng COMELEC and Bank at wala po kaming choice kundi ipatupad po ito. At yung po talaga, Ma'am Pinky, ang rason kung bakit ang isang hindi pinalad sa COMELEC ay pwede makapunta sa Korte Suprema upang humingi ng pansamantalang remedyo. So doon sa issue ng merits, kung talaga bang tama kami o hindi, then sa kamay na po ito ngayon ng Korte Suprema. Kung kami ba ay may jurisdiction o wala, nung panahon kami ay nagdesisyon, yan po ngayon ay nasa Korte Suprema na. Basta maliwanag lang po ang nangyari, Ma'am Pinky. Nailabas namin ang desisyon bago mag-12:01 ng June 30 na kung saan mawawala ng jurisdiction ang Commission on Elections.
It was June 18, no, Chairman, when the Second Division made a decision regarding this issue on the that he is not a natural-born citizen, tama po, and he is in fact naturalized and not a natural-born Filipino, ito pong si Chua Uy. So June 18 was the decision of the Second Division, and then in-elevate po ito, of course, sa NBank. So the decision of the NBank came, as you were saying, June 30 before 12 noon, sir.
Yes, Ma'am Pinky, that's the actual facts that transpired, and therefore, as far as the COMELEC is concerned, at the time na na-release namin yung aming decision, the COMELEC has and still has jurisdiction to decide on that particular case.
Sir, yung pong sinasabi niya na unconstitutional ito, tapos na po kayo dito because this will be This will have to be decided on by the Supreme Court. Quick question on that. When the COMELEC and bank decided with finality last June 30 before 12 noon, was he supposed to be given, the other party, Chua Uy's party, 5 days to raise any concerns or petitions regarding this? Or tanggal na po yung 5 days na ibinibigay sa kanya to contest this?
Actually, meron pa rin po siyang 5-day period. Yun ang reason kung bakit na-issue ang entry of judgment and certificate of finality after the 5-day period. But yun nga po, during the 5-day period, the respondent should have gotten a restraining order from the Honorable Supreme Court para lang hindi maipatupad. Ang issue kasi, ma'am, is yung decision ba na ilabas before June 30, 1201? Kung yung pagpapatupad after June 30, 1201, may nakuha ba na restraining order? So yan po ngayon, ang Pinky, ang issue before the Honorable Supreme Court. And I think ang issue pa nga ngayon So since nag-assume nga halimbawa yung si Congressman Benny Abante na-proclaim at pagkatapos nag-oath, ang tanong nga may jurisdiction ba even the Supreme Court? How about the jurisdiction now of the House of Representatives Electoral Tribunal? Yes, Ma'am Pinky.
Sir, I quite didn't get an answer to my question. My question is, when you decided when the COMELEC rather, bank decided with finality last June 30 before 12 noon, ano po, meron ho ba under the law na karapatan si Chua Uy na mabigyan po siya ng 5 days to respond or question this COMELEC decision that was made with finality?
Yes, Ma'am Pinky. Meron siyang 5-day period to get a restraining order from the Supreme Court. Our rules provides na
see.
kapag sa 5-day period na yon walang restraining order, the COMELEC will have to implement its decision.
Okay, got it. Kaya po na-proclaim po si Congressman Benny Abante, maybe July 8 ho ata, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Ma'am Pinky. That's why even if it's outside of the June 30 or beyond June 30, the most important thing is no restraining order was issued during the 5-day period after the release of the NBank resolution.
Got it, sir. Parang nabigyan pa siya ng pagkakataon maghintay ng more than 5 days kung sakasakaling magbigay ng TRO or mag-hand down ng TRO ang SC.
Yes, Ma'am Pinky, that's the exact facts.
All right. Other topics, sir. There's a complaint filed against you before the NBI over alleged irregularities dito po sa midterm poll. Sir, how would you respond to this?
Mukhang hindi lang po sa akin, mukhang sa mga kasamahan din natin sa commission, yung mga commissioners on 3 reasons. Pero una muna gusto natin sabihin, kami po ay haharap sa kahit na anong investigasyon na ipatatawag patungkol sa nangyaring halalan. May pinagmamalaki po ng komisyon na itong nangyaring halalan ay maayos, malinis at kapanipaniwala at with high integrity and very peaceful. Ito naman po, Ma'am Pinky, ay sinuportahan mismo hindi lamang ng national, ng mga local observers, local citizens arms and groups, kung hindi kahit yung mga international organizations katulad ng EU, katulad din po ng ANFREL at mga iba pang embahada ng iba't ibang bansa dito sa dito sa Pilipinas. So natural lang po na may mga ganitong klase na mga alingas-ngas o yung mga hindi kontento sa nangyari. Ayan po, Ma'am Pinky, ay lagi nating tanggap sapagkat yan po nagpapakita lang na healthy ang ating demokrasya. 3 po yung na-point out nilang reasons na, Ma'am Pinky, sa inyo pong programa ilang beses ko rin pong naulit yung mismo mga kasagutan at ito po naman ay mismong sinuportahan din ng kahit na mga citizens arm natin na tamang mga eksplanasyon. At kahit po nung unang lumabas yung mga issue na yan po ay kaagad naming naipaliwanag. Kung mamarapatin niyo, Ma'am Pinky, mabilis. Number 1, sabi nila, nag-scrap kami ng 5.1 million na boto. Ma'am Pinky, hindi naman po kami ang COMELEC ang nag-scrap ng boto o nagtanggal ng boto ng 5.1. Yung po mga ilang entities. As far as the COMELEC is concerned, ang boto nang galing mula sa presinto, directly sent to our servers na nakikita ng tao. And then COMELEC po, Ma'am Pinky, hindi kami nagtatali o hindi kami po naglalagay ng ranking. Bawal po kami maglagay ng ranking. Bawal din po kami magsuma total ng boto. So yung sinasabi nilang nabawasan ng boto ang mga kandidato and at the same time nagbago ang ranking, ma'am, hindi po kami yon. Yung ibang entities po ang gumawa po nun na nakakatanggap ng transmission din ng result. So that's the first issue. The second issue, sabi nila meron daw dinadaanan yung result.
Man
Yun
in
daw
the
po-
middle, sir, ang tawag nila, man in the middle intermediary na server.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am Pinky, kasi daw po meron kaming tinatawag na parang DC3. Ma'am Pinky, yung DC3 po, yun yung Data Center 3. Nandun po yung lahat ng servers ng PPCRB, NAMFREL, Majority Party, Minority Party at Media. Nandun po lahat, pati nga po isang pagkakataon, nandun yung mga executive ng iba't ibang television at saka radio, kahit yung inyong stasyon, nandun din po upang doon po kasi pinapadala yung results coming from the precinct. Hindi po yun man in the middle. Transparency server po, it's a facility. DC3 is a facility at ito po, Ma'am Pinky, ay nakita ng lahat ng mga membro ng media, Citizens Arm at iba pang interest groups. Nagpunta po sila lahat doon. In fact, na-picturean pa nila ko, nakuha na ako ng video na tinuturo ko po yung mga servers. Pangatlo, na issue po yung sinasabi nilang 3.4, 3.5. Ma'am Pinky, kahit ang PPCRB nag-certify, nagsabi sila, present sila nung tinatrusted build, ang 3.5. Present sila nung dinedeposit sa Bangko Sentral, ang 3.5 version. Yung po mga nagsasabi kasi sa amin, Ma'am Pinky, na hindi 3.5 ang ginamit, wala po sila kasi doon, unfortunately, sa kahit na anong pagkakataon. Wala rin po sila sa kahit na trusted build, deposit, testing, etc. kahit po sa source code review. Pero yung lahat po ng umattend, kahit yung mga majority party, minority parties, bakit po hindi sila nagrereklamo? Because they were present. They were there.
All right. Sir, maybe just as a last topic because we're running out of time, maybe could you give us at least an update dito po sa upcoming elections?
For the barangay and SK elections, ma'am, until today, wala po tayong batas na nagsasabing reset ang elections. So napakahirap sa kalagayan, Ma'am Pinky, ng COMELEC. So at this point, we still have to prepare. Bahira po, baka maya-maya, biglang matuloy yung election, wala kami paghahanda. So naghahanda rin po kami, kaya nga po itutuloy namin ang registration of voters ngayong August 1 to 10 to ensure lang na may mga botante tayo makakaboto na mga hindi pa registered ngayon. Lalong-lalo na yung mga SK, yung 15 to 17, hindi pa sila registered. Kung matuloy yung election sa December 1, tapos wala tayong registration, kawawa naman po at masisisi ang COMELEC. So we are actually nasa point kami na we have to prepare for everything. And as far as we are concerned, kung hindi po yung matuloy, no problem with us. Pero kung matuloy, at least handa rin po ang COMELEC. Bangsamoro Parliament.
Sir, let me cut
Yes,
you there.
Ma'am Pinky.
Bago po tayo sa Bangsamoro, ang election for the BSK is supposed to be is on December 1. Would that be correct, sir?
That's
Okay.
correct, Ma'am Pinky.
And yung pong, go ahead, sir. Tapos dito po tayo sa Bangsamoro.
And of course, sabay din po namin pinaghahanda ng Bangsamoro. Tuloy na tuloy po ang Bangsamoro. October 13 po yan, bagamat may mga ilang issues na malalaki katulad ng 7 seats originally allocated sa Sulu. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin po ito nare-redistribute. But as far as the COMELEC is concerned, we will proceed with or without the 7 seats reallocation. We will proceed with 73 because that's our commitment under the law and at the same time under our commitment to the peace process, to the people of the Bangsamoro.
Sigurado na po tayo doon sa Bangsamoro. Ang siguro posible lang baka hindi matuloy ay yung Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. We'll see, sir, no? Pagpasok ng 20th Congress, kung magkakaroon po ng, of course, sa kanila po manggagaling yan, kung sakaling hindi na naman matuloy. Maraming salamat, COMELEC Chairman George Garcia, for your time. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Pinky. Mabuhay po kayo. Salamat po.
That's On Point. Join us again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.